Salut à tous et bienvenue dans Story Série, saison 2, épisode 20. Cette semaine, nous vous avons concocté une émission à ne surtout pas regarder dans le noir. Sortez votre matériel de survie, ça va trancher.
We need our weapons!
Lancée en octobre 2010, la série post-apocalyptique adaptée des comics de Robert Kirkman affiche 16 nominations aux Emmy Awards et vient d'être renouvelée pour une 10e saison, de quoi soulager ses fans avides d'invasions zombies, de morts et de trahisons en tout genre.
Your people are counting on you. Maggie is counting on you. I'm counting on you.
Alors que la 9e saison reprend enfin, nous nous sommes installés bien confortablement avec l'acteur british Tom Payne qui a dû se mettre aux arts martiaux pour incarner au mieux Paul Rovia alias Jésus. Il revient sur son expérience surréaliste au sein d'une des séries les plus regardées et décryptées au monde.
And there's this. Congrats on being re-elected leader of Hilltop.
You know, a win is a given when no one runs against you.
You can at least pretend to be happy.
Thank you, Tara.
Et même si on sait que les accros à The Walking Dead sont parfaitement à jour dans les diffusions, on vous met en garde, cette interview contient un bon gros spoiler pour quiconque a loupé quelques épisodes. Mais pas de panique, un avertissement apparaîtra à l'écran avant d'aborder les informations délicates.
Do you remember how you reacted when you had the news that you will be on The Walking Dead, which was a bit of a big phenomenon already?
Yeah, it was all a bit quick and a little bit of a shock. And then the audition came through on a Wednesday for this, and I sent the tape off, and then I got cast on the Friday. And it was weird because the part, I wasn't told what the part was. So we had a fake name and a fake scene that was written especially for the audition. And so it was only once I had got the part that my agent was then sending me pictures from the comic books, like, oh, we think it might be this guy.
Yeah.
So I had no idea. So even I didn't have enough time to really even read the comic books or anything. So it was shocking, but at the same time, it all happened so quickly that there wasn't really enough time to think about it.
You ever seen him do this before?
No. Never. Josita's back trail goes right through him.
That's not normal.
Nah. No, it ain't.
Really, I didn't have any idea about how big the show was until we went to the premiere of the season 6, which was at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
And it was insane, and I have to say that I sat there watching all of the fans going crazy and all of the guys up on stage, and I felt a bit scared by the whole thing. I really did, was like, okay, it's too late now, I've filmed it and I'm in this show, but it's gonna change my life in a way that I can't change back.
Yeah.
And as it happens, that transition was easier than I thought, but it was scary at the beginning. It's like that moment you get finally, like, you get everything that you think you want, and it's whether you're ready for it or not.
Rule number 1, always be mindful of your surroundings.
Actually, rule number 1 is don't forget to look up.
Not bad. Oh, sorry. You okay?
I read many times that the conditions of shooting are quite difficult because it's very warm and quite wild over there.
There's definitely something else that you have to deal with. It's very humid.
Yes.
And the heat and the humidity are another character in the show, pretty much. It's just something that we all put up with. But that's the thing is, everyone does as well. It's not you can't complain about it because everyone's putting up with the same thing, including the crew. The cast and the crew who are all there all the time, and that's definitely the first thing to deal with. And then, there are bugs that you don't necessarily encounter all the time, like huge bugs, flying bugs and biting bugs, and then snakes, and there's all these things. We have a snake wrangler on set who her job, or his job, is to check for snakes. And we were shooting a scene last year, and she went into the woods and took out this enormous, thick, enormous snake, and then 30 minutes later did it again. Like you're filming in the wilds of Georgia, and there's lots and lots of wildlife.
That's reassuring.
Yeah, well, but they're there for a reason.
That's a good reason to leave a show. Snakes, come on.
We're gonna have to live with these people after. We're gonna have to find a way to peace. Morgan.
What kind of relationship did you have to the show? Because, well, at first glance, it's a zombie show, like an horror show. But then if you look closer, there is this social, political analysis of society within it. What is your own reading of it?
Basically, it's just about a group of people banding together. It's about family, and it's about where you find your family and who is your family.
Here's the thing, is that it's funny, but before all this, if you saw us all sitting at the same table at like a restaurant or a bar or something, you'd say to yourself, well, hey, I don't know, maybe these people work together because we certainly don't have anything in common except for the fact that we're breathing. And that's a lot nowadays, right?
It's an allegory for life, like death lurks around every corner in the show, and also in life. Like I could walk out of here and get hit by a car today, and it's...
Not in France.
Not in France? Oh, really? I don't believe you. Walk down to the Arc de Triomphe. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. It's just much more apparent in the show, and the stakes are higher. But I think that's why people connect with it as well, why we have all these fans all around the world, is that they recognize that it's about family, and it's about loss and moving on from loss.
Yes.
It's something that we all deal with constantly throughout our lives, is that we lose people that are dear to us, and we have to move on from that. So I was talking about in interviews with losing Andrew Lincoln, who plays Rick. He's the father of the show.
Yeah.
We all lose our fathers, and we have to move on from that.
I found him.
And I think that's a big, big part of the show, and a lot of when we meet fans and stuff, they talk about losing members of their family and how the show helped them through that.
We used to be explorers. The whole world was ours to rediscover.
We were out looking for people, offering them a chance to be a part of something bigger. Because of you, we were able to find each other. Maybe showing those people a way forward is the next step in that.
I just don't think that
I do. I think you'd be a damn good leader if you just stopped fighting it.
You think that's what I'm doing?
He spent a long time keeping people away. But finding them, it's kind of his thing. Maybe one day he'll stop fighting it too.
Do you feel people, they had expectations to finally see him in flesh?
Yes, but so I was nervous about that. Was the thing that I was most nervous about. But I've had a lot of people come up to me and say that they've cast the right person, and the only difference is that he's a lot taller than me in the comic books. And so people do come up to me at the conventions and tell me how small I am.
Nice.
Yeah, that happens.
But still, that must be relieving, because we know that it's always cool to have a very intense fan base, like those geeky, passionate people. But when you disappoint them, they kill you. They hate you.
Yeah.
And once you make them happy, you have friends forever.
Yeah.
Something like that.
There's definitely, all of the different actors on the show have slightly different experiences of the fans, I think, depending on what happens with each storyline. And also like how you conduct yourself outside of the show.
Yeah.
So if you don't show the show absolute reverence, then sometimes they might attack you. I've been, because I've basically said that I was kind of okay with leaving, and I'd done 3 years and that was enough for me, and I think some people are like, well, who does he think he is? And I'm like, well, I'm just being honest about, I'm a human being as well, and I'm an actor and I want to do lots of different things, and 3 years is enough for me.
Jesus! Come on!
I read that you follow your gut instincts, and the few times you haven't, it was a bad idea not to. Was leaving a show this kind of gut instinct, like, well, it's my time?
Yeah, I think if you're honest with yourself, then you know what's best for yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you can make certain things which are business decisions. So you can go, oh, well, I should take this job because I'm going to get paid this much money. But then, if you know that you're not going to be happy, then you shouldn't do it. Like, even if, oh well, you shouldn't make decisions based purely on finance or things like that, because if you yourself are fundamentally unhappy, then things just won't work out, in my experience. So I always try and do what I feel is the right thing to do.
Do you think it's harder in this business to keep honest with yourself?
I'm not sure. I think people in this business, you do have to rely on your instincts. If you're being honest with the work that you're doing, then you should be using your instincts and your natural ability. So you should be more in tune with that. Definitely as I've gotten older and I'm not as hungry just to work and just to be famous or to be one of the hot young things, I don't feel that pressure anymore.
And you have no regrets?
No. No.
Do you have the feeling that TV is like an accelerating school to learn tricks to be not a better actor, but maybe more efficient because you have no time?
Yeah.
It's in a rush all the time.
Yes, I think so. It definitely helps. I mean, that's where I learned how to act on television, really, because I went to drama school in London and it's a theatre training.
Yeah.
And so just be on camera every day teaches you a lot of stuff. I would like to do more film because I've done a few films and I enjoy the focus that happens in film. So on TV, Walking Dead shoots with 3 cameras all the time, like this.
Like us, yes.
But what that means is that you can't really use your camera technique in the same way. So if this was my only camera, then I'm playing this camera. If this is my only camera, then I'm playing this camera. But because there are 3, you can't give the same amount of focus.
Yeah.
Whereas on, different movies use different amounts of cameras, but you can work with one camera and really make it the best that it can be. And I'm interested in exploring that further. And you light for that, so you light for that one shot. Whereas the light that we're using now is for all 3 of these cameras.
Yeah.
And I enjoy the precision of that, and I'm looking forward to exploring that a bit more.
I have a feeling you have a bit of a director eye
Yeah,
somewhere.
that as well.
Yeah?
I think so, but the director job is really hard, because of all the prep that you have to do and all the other things that surround it. So I would love working with the actors and working, on set, but there are so many other things, and so I think I would need a really good DOP and just a really good crew to take care of other parts of it. But yeah, at some point, definitely I'd like to direct. So we'll see, I don't know.
It's exciting.
Yeah, very exciting.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Story Séries, c'est terminé. La semaine prochaine, on se penche sur la série british qui a éclaté tous les records d'audience, l'excellente Bodyguard, en compagnie de son créateur Jed Mercurio.
Did you mean what you said?
I don't need you to vote for me.
Are we facing a state of emergency?
Only to protect me.
Rest assured, Mum. I'll do what's required.
Stay down! It's okay. It's okay.
Allez, à la semaine prochaine.